Excuse me, Harley girl, I gotta make a video. You could chill right here. I'm sorry. She looks so cute, but I need to record this video. You got an eye booger right here. All right, with that being said, what's up guys, Ryan here from MudGunner. Today we are doing my second video on viewer builds, and last week's topic was your first build or your favorite build. This week's topic is clone builds. So this is not gonna be in the video, but it's a Type A Gordon carbine. So yeah, this week's topic is clone builds, and before we get into showing you it, I gotta run just a couple things by you. So if you're gonna submit pictures for these videos, I explained the directions in the back of the video on how to get submitted and all that, but some of you guys may have skipped it. So if you're gonna do this, I need good horizontal pictures of your guns, and yeah, ideally high quality photos, because some of these are a little bit blurry, but you can still see them. Ideally just one gun, not more than one, but this week it worked out because I didn't get as many submissions. So one gun, horizontal picture, maybe front and back. So, you know, this side and this side. So if you have accessories, I can clearly see them on both sides. And then we're gonna do it like Grand Thumb does it from tip to butt, because some of you guys were explaining your accessories from the front, and then you jump to the back, and then you jump back to the front and the back. So I just go off your list. It would take a long time for me to just sort through all of it, because I look at the picture in your email with the description. So when you guys are sending me your pictures with your build list, if you can go from tip to butt like the Navy does and Grand Thumb does, that would make it easier for me to show the viewers and to show you guys, because I kind of zoom in on the accessories that you talk about in the video. So if I have to go from the muzzle to the back to the forend, like, it's just nice if we go one way. So and this is just a learning process, because this is only the second video. That's something I noticed, is just going back and forth. So if you submit pictures, and I'll explain more at the back of the video, please detail your list from front to back, ideally. Besides that, I noticed I was saying this is sick a lot. So if I say your build is sick, I said it to almost everyone. Sorry, that's just like my vocabulary with talking about guns, because I work at a gun store, we talk about guns all day. I tell people their builds are sick all the time, because they are sick, but I just notice I say it a lot. So I'll try to expand my vocabulary in the next viewer build video. And besides that, sorry this video is getting posted late. I've been having car troubles these last couple days. Got my car towed here today, and tomorrow we're probably looking at getting a new vehicle. I am probably also going to be doing some off-road content for you at some point, because I think it'd be cool, and I like off-roading, I just haven't done it in years. So if you're looking to support the channel, I could use some support by maybe you guys buying patches, shirts, or stickers on my website, because I don't like new vehicle prices. But we're kind of to that point. My car doesn't work really well anymore, so need to buy a new car. And yeah, I'm offering the Patch Rat patch on my website for 10 bucks. And for the month of June, if you buy a Patch Rat patch, you get these two stickers for free. We got Brass Goblin, Patch Rat. These are all 4-inch designs, so a 4-inch tall patch and sticker. So 10 bucks gets you these two stickers for free, and then it's like $4.90 to ship. So 15 bucks gets you all three of these. If you buy any of my shirts on there, I know I'm limited on inventory, I'll send you a MudGunner patch as well. So thank you guys for potentially supporting me, and let's get into the video. All right guys, so kicking it off, we have Tony's build of the FBI HRT rifle, which is super sick. You don't see them super often right now, and I'm actually in the works of building one of these myself, and I haven't told anyone about it yet because I don't have everything, but I'm very happy that we're starting with this one. Again, it's from Tony, and the FBI HRT is the hostage rescue team. So let's get into it. And it looks like this is a fully parted out gun. So bought everything separately, it looks like. So I'm gonna go in the order on his list. He has the 11.5 Geisley Cold Hammer Forged barrel with a Geisley gas block pinned to the barrel. 10-inch Geisley Mark IV Federal ODG FBI HRT rail. This is the rail that I've been trying to find. So specifically through our distributors, that is the main component I'm missing for my build, and that's why I haven't posted it yet. I also don't have any of my optics yet, but yeah, the FBI HRT rail is very specific. Geisley does a variety of rails, and some of them look very close together. I am specifically looking for the OD green one, because I think that's the most correct, but they also do it in the DDC color and the black. So that is very cool that you got the actual green one, Tony. And then he is running a Geisley Reliability Enhanced Bolt Carrier Group. I had to look up specifically what that one is, and it's a pretty nice bolt carrier group, just a super upgraded one, full auto rated and everything. The Geisley SDG3 trigger, I think that's a super dynamic 3-gun trigger. And then he's got Troy Battle Iron sights. He's got an EOTech EXPS 2-0, so that's the dot with the circle. He's got a Streamlight ProTac LCS, and it looks like it's in, I think, a Cloud Defense light mount for the pressure pad. I can't tell, I'll look further down your list. He's got a Yankee Hill Turbo T2 with the Yankee Hill muzzle brake. That is the suppressor on the front. And he's got a Precision Reflex Industries M84 gas busting charging handle with a combat latch. And he's got Radian 45 degree safety selector, or he says 4590. I like running mine in the 45 degree. It looks like that's how he has his set up. He's got Magpul furniture on there, which it looks like the K2 grip and a CTR stock. And it's on a Diamondback DB15 lower with a loft folder. You didn't mention your upper, and I can't tell from the picture because we only got one side to look at, but this is a super sick build. I know that some people will see Diamondback as a lower price point company, and honestly they are. I hope you don't mind me using yours as an example, but you put all your money in the right places. You have a great optic setup, you have great barrel, you great rail. I don't know your upper. I mean, the Magpul furniture is great on there. Yankee Hill does make good affordable suppressors. I have a couple experiences shooting them. I don't have one yet, but I'd like to at some point. And honestly, if you're going to spend the money, those are the things to spend the money on. The Geissele trigger as well, the Radian safety selector. Yeah, you put all the money in the right places. So I hope you don't mind me just mentioning that, but you don't need a high-end lower. And the nice thing about this build is lowers are honestly one of the cheapest parts. I mean, you could buy a name brand Geissele lower for, I think, what, 150, 160 at some point. But yeah, you put all the money in the right places. I really like this build. So he said his rifle was built by Dave Wilson Manufacturing Company. I looked them up. They look like they do nice stuff, but I'm not familiar with them. And yeah, this is super sick. So I'm going to get a little more into it. So as far as the Magpul furniture, he's got the RVG grip, which is the vertical grip. The K2 grip is your pistol grip, and then the CTR stock. And then he's also got the BCM rail panels on the side. And again, I can't look closely from the picture that I'm looking at, but it looks like he has the Cloud Defensive pressure pad mount for his Streamlight setup. And then the only thing I can see from your picture, Tony, is maybe just a sling, but I assume you probably have one and just maybe didn't post it. But yeah, sling would look good on there, and it already has QD points on there, so some type of QD point padded sling would be good, like the Blue Force gear or the Viking Tactics slings. And yeah, that is a super sick setup, so thank you for sharing, Tony. Also, he has a Magpul PMag on there with a little grip on the bottom. So let's go to the next one. So next one is from DJ, and his is a Mark 18 Mod O clone. So let's get into this. It's got an LMT Defender lower, a Geissele SSAE trigger, a BCM lower parts kit, a B5 SOTMOD stock, LMT CQBR 10.5 inch upper, and then he says which he believes was used in the Crane projects in small numbers. Midwest Industries rear sight that looks like the Knights. A random quadrille that I had lying around. That's okay. I mean, it looks the part. I mean, from this angle, it looks like a Knights quadrille, but I can't tell, and it's not enough for me to see. Knights rail covers, EOTech EXPS 2.0, just like Tony's build from the last one. So that is the dot with the circle around it, and the EXPS is the quick detach lever, in case you didn't know. XPS is like direct mount, like the side mounted screw. EXPS is quick detach. And then he's got a Tango Down vertical grip on there, a Surefire M300 dual fuel light, and then set up also for a Yankee Hill Turbo T2 suppressor. He would like to have a dedicated can. This pick, it has the BCM Gunfighter charging handle. He says he also has the Precision Reflex Industries Gas Buster charging handle, but the latch doesn't stick out far enough for his liking. Still needs a sling, and I would love a PEQ 2 to finish it off. Yeah, that would be sick. It's funny, like, I'm a big rifle guy, you guys know this. I'm actually working on one of these builds as well. I do have it. It's basically all done. It's just not on the lower that I'd like it to be on, but I'll have to show you guys someday. But very sick Mark 18 Mod O build. Sling-wise, I would recommend the Blue Force Gear padded sling or the Viking Tactics padded sling. Those are both super nice. If you're looking for like a pretty decent just overall sling, I use the Magpul MS4s a lot as well. Yeah, thank you for sharing, DJ. That is a super sick build. I love the Mark 18 Mod Os. I love all Mark 18s, but the Mod O is just like, it looks like a little beefy gun. I mean, I guess the Block 2 does as well, but yeah, I think you got to collect them all. All right, let's move on to the next one. So now this one is a vibe, and this is one that I don't have yet. This is from Jared, and it is an HK 416 clone. And yeah, this is a super sick setup just by looking at it. Let's get into it. So again, this is from Jared. Here's my submission, not 100% clone correct, but clone inspired by DevGru circa 2010's GWAT. So GWAT's Global War on Terror. It's basically just a military setup. And then I think, my memory serves correct, the Navy SEALs that were tasked with taking out bin Laden used similar setups. I could be wrong, but I think they used the HK 416s. So what we have here is an HK MR5, well, you didn't say HK, but it's an MR556 upper, so I'm assuming HK. a 10.4-inch Nefarious Arms barrel. I've heard of that brand, but I don't know anything about them. HK 10-inch vented gas block, HK piston op rod, a Surefire 3-prong flash hider, an HK 9-inch quad rail, the Surefire M600 Scout Light Pro, Somo Gear PEC 15 as a placeholder. I understand that. PECs are expensive, and that's the laser on top. Knights Armament backup iron sights, Aimpoint T1 on a LaRue LT660 mount. He's got a Tango Down stubby vertical grip. He's got the Brownells BRN4 bolt carry group plus a BCM/Voltor ambi charging handle. He's got an LMT Mars lower, Tango Down BG16 pistol grip, which I guess was discontinued, a Magpul CTR stock, and a Magpul EMAG, which for the HK setup, the EMAG is the iconic one, and I also believe the EMAG is what they used to dispatch Bin Laden with. So he's saying he still needs a can, a real PEC, and he wants to secure an old EOTech 511 to swap out the Aimpoint. I don't remember the EOTech 511 off the top of my head, but I think it's kind of the more stubby one. Let's go look at it. Oh yeah, that EOTech 511 is a little stubby guy. That is sick. I don't know. I'm kind of more liking your Aimpoint on there, but I get it. If you're trying to, like, we try to clone to a certain point, right? Like, we know it's not exact, but there's just certain things that look really good on there. But honestly, your setup is sick. You didn't mention a sling, but I assume you have one. Like a lot of you guys, when you're not sending me pictures of slings, I assume you have one. Maybe you just don't leave it on there for pictures. But honestly, they look good on with the pictures too. And as always, I like the Blue Force Gear padded slings or the Viking Tactics slings. But super sick setup, Jared. Thank you for sharing. And let's see how you like this next one, because it's going to be similar but in a different way. But I really want that 416 setup. I want a 416 so bad. I have my full-size MR556, and I just can't bring myself to like chop it or shorten the barrel or buy a different one. I just want to keep it as is and buy it a separate shorty. But if you buy a 416 upper that looks like this, like an actual HK 416 10-inch upper, they're like $4,000 for just the upper, which is insane because you can buy an entire HK MR556 rifle for about $3 right now. All right, so next up, you have some competition, Jared. We have one from Joseph, and this is his HK 416D clone. Now, if you guys watch my channel, you know I love FDE. I basically want this setup, but with the quad rail. I love the quad rail. I think they call it the HK 416A5, would be the flat dark earth with the quad rail. But this setup is super sick, and let's get into it. So again, it's from Joseph. It's a 10.4-inch barrel, HK upper and lower, Geissele airborne charging handle. We have the Geissele SMR handguard, which is a contract overrun, HK vertical grip, a B5 pistol grip and stock. He's got a full power PEC 15. For those of you that don't know, full power means it may have fallen off of a military truck somewhere, but we're not pointing fingers. We have a Surefire M600 dual fuel scout light on there, an EOTech EXPS 3-0 with the G33 magnifier on a 1 minute out Wilcox flip mount. I am not familiar with that mount setup that you have on there, but it looks pretty sick. Wilcox is a well-known brand, but I don't ever see it come through our store, and I don't think I own anything from Wilcox yet. He's got a B&T Rotex V suppressor, one of 55 currently in the US with first run. That is very cool. These suppressors are ran in the European military units. Nice. So that is a super sick build, Joseph. I love the flat dark earth colors on there. I'm getting a closer look right now. I can't tell, but it looks like you may have something in front of the PEC as well, like another like Wilcox style mount, like it's the same color tone. So maybe that's for iron sights. Again, I can't tell from just this picture. We only have the one picture to go off of, but yeah, that thing looks insane. Thank you for sharing. Both of these HKs back to back look sick in their own ways, like the all black and then the FDE. Let's put them side by side and just show you guys. Those just look amazing. And HK is like one of my dream short barrel rifles to own. They're also very expensive. Like I have a pretty nice Scar 16 SBR, and at the time I bought the gun used for $2,000. I bought the barrel for $1,000, but then I sold my 16-inch barrel for about $600. So to get into a Scar 16 SBR for me was under $3,000. To get into one of these HK SBRs, like if you were to do it all HK, I mean, it is thousands and thousands of dollars. So for me, the Scar 16 was always like the go-to because HK was just non-existent. I think over time, things will be a little bit more accessible. And honestly, like at the time also for me, Brownells wasn't doing the HK stuff, but now that Brownells is coming out with the parts kits and all that stuff, I might do just a clone HK416, because looking at these pictures, it makes me really want one. But yeah, thank you for sharing, Joseph. Hopefully you and Jared both watched this video, because I mean, yours back to back were pretty cool. So going with the next one, we have Neil, who sent us a couple builds here, and I'm going to do kind of a quick rundown because it is 3, but we didn't have as many to rate this week, so I don't mind doing just a couple more right now. Depending on how many we get each week, I might have to like not do everyone's or just do one of the guns if they send more than one, but we'll talk through these. So I have the description, and then I have the picture kind of far away from the description, so give me a sec. So we have a Mark 18 with a 6920 registered SBR. So that 6920 I think is a Colt part number. So I assume Colt SBR. It's got a Colt 10.3 inch barrel, Colt upper, Colt bolt carry group. So basically complete Colt upper minus the Daniel Defense Mark 18 handguard. He's got a Surefire 4-prong flash hider with what looks like a Surefire RC2 on there. He's got an EOTech EXPS 3-0. He's got a SOTMOD USGI stock. He didn't say B5, but I assume it's B5 SOTMOD stock. He's got this Tango Down stubby vertical grip, an L3 AT PLC, which is the PEC 15 on top, the laser unit, but the AT PLC is just the civilian one. Knights Armament iron sights, a Unity riser, and an Insight light. And that is a pretty sick setup. I can't see the pressure pad. I don't see the pressure pad on there, but maybe you're running it on the left side. So yeah, I can't see it from these pictures, but very cool setup. I love the flat dark earth two-tone on there, and honestly, I've been collecting some Mark 18, so I have a very similar setup to this. I can't tell what sling he's got on there, but he's got a multicam sling that's padded. It kind of looks like a Blue Force gear, but I don't think it is. Some slings look very similar, so yeah, nice padded multicam sling, and then besides that, that's one of the more iconic looking Mark 18s, and I'm building very similar setup to that. So thank you for sharing that one. We will talk about his other one here. So on his other AR next to the Mark 18 without an optic, you sent me a build list, but it doesn't, based off what you're saying in that build list, it doesn't look like exactly what's here, because in the build list you put that it has an optic and a Geisley rail, but that looks like the Daniel Defense rail to me. But the one next to the Mark 18 basically looks like a Daniel Defense M4A1 with a Surefire muzzle device. Looks like an older Surefire Vampire light with the tail cap and a mod button, I believe. And then he's got a Knights Armament vertical grip on there. Also a B5 stock. That one way more looks like a Blue Force gear sling. And then, yeah, besides that, I don't see an optic. I don't see a can on that. Maybe rotate the RC2s. But yeah, I don't think that was the build list you sent me, but let's get to that last one. So the last one is a URGI build, which I just did a video on yesterday for mine. And mine is a 14.5. This one's an 11.5. So the URGI is an 11.5 on a Colt 6933 lower. It's a Colt upper, the Geisley Mark 16 rail, a Daniel Defense Colt Hammer Forge 11.5 barrel, a Toolcraft bolt carrier group, a Geisley URGI charging handle, a Aimpoint T2 on a Unity mount, a Magpul CTR stock, a Geisley SSA trigger, a Surefire RC2 on a Surefire 4-prong flash hider, another AT PLC, and then a mod light that's using the Unity button for the light and the laser. So he's got 2 Unity buttons on top. So I guess that means on that 14.5 from that picture, it's probably a Unity button. I can't tell. I don't run a Unity button or a mod button on mine yet. But yeah, super sick setup. I see a rear sight on there. Did you mention your rear sight? Did not mention the rear sight. I can't tell that one. It looks like a Mautek sight from the side here. But yeah, that's a pretty nice setup. I like the dual tones because it looks like you have a Magpul OD green stock on there, and then everything else is flat dark earth. And then you also have a multicam sling. That one, I don't know who makes that sling, but it looks nice. And then it looks like he also has the BCM M-Lock vertical grip on there. But yeah, that's kind of like a more modern Mark 18 with the Geisley rail. And those are nice. I'm still a fan of the quad rail for the shorties, but I know that everything kind of leans toward M-Lock nowadays. But thank you for sharing these clones, Neil. And yeah, sorry if I messed up the one without the optic, but I honestly think the build list you sent me was for a slightly different gun, because you said it had a SIG Tango 6, and I don't see that on there. And then you also said a Geisley Mark 16 rail, which that looks like the Daniel Defense Risk 2 rail. But thank you for sharing again. And then lastly, we also have Rylan, who submitted one last week, and his build was super sick, but he did send another one this week, which is awesome because we actually needed a little bit more build, so I definitely don't mind rating this one. Plus, it's not one that we've done yet today. So this one is a XM177E2 Blood Diamond Rifle build, and let's get into it. For the upper, it's a Luth AR C7, which was extremely hard to find at the time. I had to call to see if they had any hidden away. That's funny, I've called companies hoping they had parts that were hidden too. For the barrel, he has a B Kings 11.5, which I'm not familiar with that brand. Flash hider, XM177 GAU5 flash hider, pin and welded on there. For the handguard, he's got the skinny XM177 remanufactured clones. This is where I'm not super knowledgeable because that handguard looks like every other polymer handguard to me. But I know there are differences, especially for the true cloners out there. Optic, he's got a Vortex Strikefire 2 with the Vortex low mount scope rings. Honestly, looking at the pictures quickly, I didn't even notice it was a Vortex. It still looked like the Aimpoint Pro, but yeah, now looking closer, I noticed that. It blends in really well with your spray paint job on there. The lower is a Palmetto M16A2 stamped lower, and then he's got an A2 grip with the finger knob shaved off, and then stock was a Surplus Waffle. He says his Car 15 stock broke. The flashlight is a Streamlight ProTac HLX, which is a great flashlight. I run a lot of Streamlights and they work really good and they're pretty budget friendly, which is nice. And then he's got an ALG Defense trigger on there. And the spray paint job looks really good on there, so very nice job on that. Thank you again for sharing, Rylan. This is another great build and it definitely looks sick and hopefully can inspire some of these other people to build something similar. Hope you guys enjoyed all those builds. They were pretty sick, am I right? Like I said sick a lot, but next time I'll try to use better vocabulary. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. Those were some really amazing builds, and I definitely got some inspiration on those HK builds because I don't have a short barrel HK yet, but I would like to have one at some point. Actually, I have a Tommy built G36, but that doesn't count. I want an HK 416 build at some point. So next week's build video is going to be on backpack guns. I would like, if you want to participate in this, send your build of your backpack carry gun. I know not everyone carries a gun in their backpack, but let's just say subcompact builds, right? Like if you were gonna put a gun in a backpack, what would it be? So mine right here is a SIG MPX. It is chambered. This is the safe direction to point it. I have a SIG MPX-K, which has the 4.5-inch barrel. It has the Manticore Arms brace on the back, a Lancer Systems carbon fiber rail. It just looks cool. On the top, I'm running a Surefire Micro Scout light, just a low lumen light, but it sits on there pretty nice. We got an EOTech EXPS 3-0, and then I'm running the 20-round SIG MPX mags with Federal HSTs. And then from the factory, it comes with a Timney trigger, and yeah, super sick MPX build, fits in my bag very nicely. Oh, Radian charging handle too. The Radian charging handle is a must for MCX, MPX, whatever you might have. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with this build. It works really well and it's a perfect size for backpack. So next week's topic is backpack guns. It could be 9mm, it could be 5.56, whatever you carry in your backpack. We could even talk handguns if you want. Yeah, just your backpack build or gun. And then to get into the video, so again, if you guys send pictures, please do ideally a clear background. Like I know my couch is really ugly. Your couches are nicer, but ideally just flat ground or just something. Couch pictures are not the greatest, and yeah, this side, that side, left and right, ideally, because then we could see what you have on there. And then horizontal, please. Vertical pictures just don't look as good on YouTube. And then you're gonna send the pictures to sales@atroxco.com. That's my merch website, again, where if you wanna buy a patch or anything like that, check out my website. And then also just again, tip to butt, ideally for describing it. It'll just make it easier for me. And then also actually attach a picture because I got an email with no picture attached. I emailed them, but they didn't get back to me, so it didn't get in the video. So I can't show off your gun if you don't send me pictures. So from front to back, just describe your gun, what you maybe did to it, and yeah, I think it could be a good video for next week. So thank you guys for watching and stay tuned for that video.